Morning. My first home sale. Get a little tour. So this is my house. So this is my first house. Old neighborhood. So I bought this house. This was an empty lot. See, this one's for sale. It's a completely empty lot, just full of junk piled up. So I started fixing up my house. Once this one got repaired a little bit, this one popped up. So like all this right here, I had planted this 7 years ago to cover up these little easement things. This little patch of grass wasn't here. Installed this gravel. Just little things. Anyway, just giving you a little tour of this house before I sell it. I got the yard cleaned up. So when I bought this house, it was a short sale. It sat empty for a couple years or so. That tree is new. We had a huge ice storm here in Oregon. So that one is a replacement tree. So hopefully it lasts and makes it. So this is one of the issues with the house. It has an easement. So this is one of the things I didn't like. It had this big thing in the front yard. So we covered it up with a bench. Not too bad. Got the bushes in front. Pretty nicely manicured, I think. And then instead of a fence, we have sort of a natural fence. These nice tall side bush things, I don't remember what they're called. And we're planting all this. Getting the yard in shape was probably the hardest part. This used to be a farm. Oh, some garbage. Used to be a farm, and had all kinds of just random farm stuff popping up. There was lots of cabbage and just random plants all over the place. So kind of like how this has come together, a nice mature yard. This is I don't think this is any kind of fruit-bearing tree. Look at this growing into the tree like that. Not too sure what that was for. So I haven't lived here in about 6 years. I lived here myself for a year and a half, 2 years, 2 years I think. There's a cherry tree right here. Like I said, it was farmland before. Back patio area. So this all is something we installed. Got to rearrange these edgers. They're kind of falling apart, but yeah. So I'm just kind of taking repossession just for a few days to get this place ready for sale. So I'm gonna give this patio set to some family members and the grill over there. This is an apple tree. You can see nice. Yeah, the apples are coming through nicely. Pretty nice to just walk in your backyard and pick some apples and cherries. We got blackberries down here, so this is kind of a mess. So it looks like they've done a good job clearing out their side. We haven't done that over here. We'll let the homeowner decide what they'd like to do with the rest of this house. Had some in-ground sprinkler system installed, so there was no really grass here. It was just a big mess. Oh, here's one of the chairs hiding out back there. Yeah, this was pretty torn up. There was a big hornet's nest right about here. This whole area of grass, it was just full of really tall random plants, some over 6 feet. So looking pretty good. Had landscape crew come by while I've lived out of state and doing grad school. So they've done a good job keeping it going. So you can see a little bit of wear and tear right there, but for the most part, it's looking okay. So let's go back around front. It's locked. Yeah. Looks like gutters might need to be cleaned out. Maybe a little bit of roof repair. So I'm selling this house as is. So I sold it for slightly under what I probably could have gotten if I held out. Seems like some of these houses are going for $460,000 or so. This one I sold for $390,000. Reason being is, see the roof up there? You can see some moss growing on it, so the roof needs to get taken care of. It has been freshly painted in the last few years. Let's see, windowsill over there. So not really going to do much cleaning of stuff like that. But it's in pretty good shape though for 7 years. Not really doing anything since I moved in. So one of the things I did to add value to it, because it had sat empty and hadn't been painted, so painting was really bad. So this white wasn't really white when I bought the house. You can see the cedar up there. It was all had black mold, looked pretty bad. So had the cedar redone. Yeah, paint's real good. Painted the door. It's nice, I don't know, bright color, attractive color. Replaced the door handles. It just had a basic, you know, silver or whatever, cheap door handle. So just little things that add value. But they make a difference. You know, so we had the white, you know, just a normal plastic white covers. So replaced the covers to match the living room and things like that. So you can see how the little plugs, just replacing little things like these plug covers, you know, makes a difference. You know, little special grates for the heat. So these floors, this was a really bad carpet. It's pretty torn up when we bought it. So these are solid bamboo hardwood floors. Real great thick pad underneath, so it's not, you get all the creaking and stuff. This bar, so we extended this bar out, so you see how it's now level with the wall right there, now perpendicular. It used to only come out to about right here, well, somewhere around here. So that's one of the value adds. And it had Formica countertops. I got this nice granite. Did this nice backsplash. So most of our focus was just on the kitchen. We repainted it. It was just a basic, like, it was just that basic tan. So painted it nice off-white. We're in Malala, Oregon, so seemed appropriate. Country living, stainless steel appliances. Then did some little things in the kitchen just to make it so, like, pull out trash can, stuff like that. These little slide out things just to make it a little more nifty. Big old Lazy Susan. Storage cabinet. What else do we do? Got some slide outs for pots and pans. So drawers slide out. So there's should be more of these. Can easily replace those, but got these things for lids and stuff. So in here, pantry, same thing. All the pantry slides out. A chalkboard on the inside. You can write your list or whatever. It goes the whole pantry like that. The slide outs. So just little things that make a difference. And again, little plug covers. I mean, these things are like, you know, maybe $2, $3 for something like this. And the difference it's making is that, you know, I'm able to sell this house as is, like I said, without having to do a whole lot of, really not doing anything. I'm just, you know, got my cleaning stuff and a sweep and mop, and listing this living room stuff for sale if anybody wants it. If not, just leave it for the next homeowner. From what I understand, this is their first time home. This was my first time home. Yeah, so there you go, some more of that chalkboard. A cat door. Used to have a cat. Keep the cat box out here in the garage. So nice big garage. Nothing really exciting about a garage. Even just little stuff like this. Bike storage, you know, pull them up and hang from the ceiling. Again, light switch covers. Yeah, the main focus was on this lower level. Replacing the floors, painting granite, backsplash, extending that out. New sink, a new you know, country style brushed nickel. This was kind of fun. I had fun with this one. So the bathroom has like a theme. Just like, so again, a little light switch deal, and you know, we got some antique mirrors that we found, rummage sales and stuff. The theme here, see, it's the woods, the bear. Do you get it? What does a bear do in the woods? and it's a bathroom. Yeah, it's a dad joke made into a bathroom. I'm a dad of a 4-year-old. So anyway, let's go upstairs. So you can see like these little things, I'm not fixing any of this stuff. So I'm just selling it as is. So that's the benefit of selling in a buyer's market, right? Or a seller's market. So we'll light out up here. You can hear the chirping of the smoke detector. It needs its battery replaced. That's one of the things. Like, I'm gonna leave these here. So this is a pretty good selling point right here. A touchscreen, washer and dryer. I thought this was pretty cool when I had this. I haven't seen a touchscreen washer and dryer in a while, so. Leaving little stuff behind, whatever. So you can see the kids' rooms, a little bit thrashed. So tore down some of the upper molding. Got the thing that's bent. I mean, these are all little easy things for the next buyer to fix up, so they can add value. So yeah, I bought this house undervalued at $182,500, and it was listed for $242,000. So this is kind of neat. Check this out. I've never seen one of these. Shower. So you got a timer for the shower. Reduce your time to shower, save water. Yeah, just replace the mirror again. But for the most part, by doing these little things, we were able to skip some of the bigger stuff, like this is still the original Formica countertop. So instead of replacing the whole countertop, which would be quite expensive, just threw up a used mirror. Threw on a little cover. You know. $3, $4, whatever, maybe $20 for the mirror versus a few hundred to do this whole Formica countertop thing. So just little value add tricks. You know, these are pretty nice. They're still under warranty, but I really would rather not haul them. So just leave them here for the next buyer. Saves me from having to haul them around. Another little light switch cover. Everything kind of matches. You know, see, these ones are silver-ish to match the paint in the room. This is the master bedroom. So, didn't really do anything upstairs. This is the same original carpet. You know, again, just painted and put on some light switch covers. That's it. Up here, all the focus is really on the kitchen and the floors downstairs and stuff. Same original shower. Just replaced the shower head, painted in here. That's about it. See, same original Formica countertops. That's what the kitchen used to look like. So this is what the kitchen used to look like right here. Just cheap stuff. It's still in good shape. It's still good. Good for a bathroom. Yeah, pretty cool tub up here. A view of the creek down there. So sometimes we get heavy rain, it get filled up pretty good. Lots of frogs and things for kids to play in the summertime. And then they've got the option. See how that house, they built their yard out to their property lines. You could do that on this house where all those blackberry bushes are. If the next owner wanted to, they could fill that in, kind of make a barrier like that they did with the rock, extend their yard out, make their yard more usable. But so I didn't go ahead and do that. I just kept it nicely manicured, because that would be a huge project. So that saved some money there. Yeah, so little ways of kind of getting around doing huge remodels instead of having to replace all of this countertop stuff, which would be a couple $1,000. Spend $3 on a light switch cover and a little bit of sweat equity to do some paint. So yeah, and so also one of the reasons I sold at slightly under market rate. So I listed this house for $415,000. Ended up going with $390,000. Basically based off of not doing any repairs to the roof, not adding an AC unit. There's no AC on this house, and you can see my neighbor's house is for sale. That's the one that was just built on the empty lot. So theirs is for sale. And across the street over there on the corner, that one is for sale. So I'm just kind of getting in a little bit early, just as things start kind of tipping over. This is kind of tracking market cycles practice for me. With this house, this is my first time selling a house. This is what they call like a BRRRR investment, only I already refinanced it to practice the BRRRR technique. In February, I pulled out $100,000, and now I'm selling it in October. I'm gonna cash out another about $140,000, and that money's gonna go towards setting up my multifamily business. So we're able to cover a little bit more of the earnest money deposits, the due diligence required. So due diligence, to do inspections and stuff on, a large apartment complex, looking for stuff that's like 50 units plus, ideally, probably around 50 to 100 units, I think would be a good for my first apartment complex. Yeah, so this is pretty much it. Just wanted to give you a short tour. If you want any living furniture, this stuff is for sale. It's usually from Macy's. Yeah, that's pretty much it. So just give you a quick tour of the place, a little rundown of where I started. So I started with $1,000 earnest money deposit on this house. I had like a 620 credit score. I think I got this on a loan at like 4.75%. Didn't know anything about investing. Wasn't very good with managing even my own personal finances, if I'm honest. Fresh out of the military, or not fresh out of the military, but as a military person, you get kind of, at least I got used to not having to pay for things like rent and electricity and water and stuff like that, and you just kind of get your money on the first and you spend it by the 30th, and then get paid on the first, and just kind of go through this cycle. And it was kind of hard to learn how to break that. The homeownership really got me out of that. Got me sort of responsible for personal finances and able to get another house that I was able to donate to the bunker project. That one is being used now in Las Vegas. Things are going well there so far. Got 5 veterans, student veterans, all going to school and kicking butt in life. And hopefully I won't ever have to testify in their cases or attend their funeral for a suicide or just, any of that kind of stuff. That negative stuff is what we're trying to prevent there with that house. So one of the other things I'm doing up here in Oregon, so I was able to time a court case. I'll turn this around. I was able to time a court case with my trip up here while I do this home sale. And it's a capital crime. It's facing life sentence in prison. And it's the same story in every one of these cases, that lack of transition, basically a lot of enlisted veterans. The reality is that a lot of us joined from not so great of backgrounds, maybe poor neighborhoods, single parent households, that's where I was from, single mom household. Dad was a Marine, typical story, married very young, didn't last. So anyway, this is what it is. I grew up, joined the Marines myself. Helped me in a connection with my dad, since we weren't all that close in my childhood, and that worked out pretty good. I was able to buy this house, and home ownership and school are the two things that really helped me not end up as a statistic myself. But anyway, as far as like the bunker project supporting transition, the whole point there, is to prevent people ending up in those dark places. By keeping them up at the top. So this is where it all started, was with this house. I had no intention of making this an investment property. This was just my first home for my girlfriend and her daughter lived here. And then when I got into graduate school, that relationship fell apart. I moved down to Vegas, met another girl down there, had my son who now lives in Phoenix. So that's why I live in Phoenix now, is to be close to that son. Me and that girl were dating more out of convenience, really, as fellow grad students. Yeah, so anyway, we ended up not lasting, and she moved on with her new partner. They're moving into that nice big house I showed you the other day. So when I was comparing riches versus wealth. So the reason I was saying riches versus wealth, because I consider myself very wealthy, even though that's not my house. because I contribute to that house, and we're able through our investing strategies together to get that house by pulling our funds together, essentially, me, her, and the new partner, kind of all. It's a co-parenting team, which is nice because I hear a lot of single parents and exes and things with a lot of fights and court battles, and it's nice not having to do that. So anyway, that's about it. Just wanted to give you a quick little tour of my first house. Now selling it 7 years later at the height of the market, purchased for $182,500. Now selling for $390,000 as is, to a cash buyer with no remodeling, barely a little bit of cleanup done at all. Just kind of bought it, lived in it, held it for a while, had the same tenant the entire time. She was great. You can see that she treated this just like her home. Here's her and her family. Some markings on the wall of their heights as they grew, and her kids. So I kept their rent pretty low. I wanted to help out a single mom and a kid, to live a life that was a little better than what I had when I was growing up. Just kind of a way of giving back, I guess. So just kind of didn't really raise her rent up to market rate. The difficult part was that now that market rate is so high that to get her up to market rate wouldn't have been practical. She wouldn't have been able to afford it, frankly. So the only option was to sell the house, and I need to sell the house in order to get my VA loan reinstated, so I could get a house of my own. So I'm currently renting myself now, a condo, until I can get that VA loan freed up, which should happen once this house is sold, and then I can refinance the house in Las Vegas under a conventional loan instead of my VA loan. Or I might just be able to take the proceeds from this house and buy a house with the 20% down, not even have to worry about the bunker project house that's under the VA loan still. So either way, it'll all work out. That's all I've got for an update so far for this week. Take care.